When life breaks you, become art. I've witnessed women navigate the ruins of careers that once defined them, relationships that crumbled without warning, and dreams that felt beyond reach. Some leave these moments defeated, while others transform them into a presence that radiates depth and poise. The distinction is not luck, it's the way you meet fracture with intention, reshaping vulnerability into strength, grief into creativity, and every broken piece into a reflection of quiet mastery. Point 1. The alchemy of pain, turning emotional fractures into fuel. Life often delivers moments that feel like fractures to your very sense of self. Losing a dream, watching a relationship dissolve, or realizing life is not unfolding as imagined can leave you hollow in ways words barely capture. The instinct is to push the discomfort away, to fix it quickly, or to distract yourself. Transformation begins when you pause, stop resisting, and observe the energy that lives inside the pain. Pain holds a kind of dense, raw potential. When approached consciously, it becomes fuel, heavy, yes, but malleable into something meaningful. Start by acknowledging the fractures without judgment or shame. Name what hurts, where it stings, and what it reveals about your deepest desires or unmet needs. This act alone begins to reclaim power from the experience. Next, redirect this energy. Journaling, reflective practice, or small acts of intention, like improving your space, nurturing your body, or pursuing a long-neglected skill, can transform emotional weight into creative motion. Neuroscience confirms that actively engaging with emotional pain strengthens neural pathways associated with resilience and inventive thinking. Alchemical transformation does not require pretending that all is well. Its power emerges when raw life is reshaped into something that carries your distinct mark. Each fracture becomes a guidepost, shaping a version of yourself that is stronger, richer, and more authentically nuanced. Pain is no longer an enemy, but a resource, quietly teaching you to navigate life with deliberate grace, turning vulnerability into unmistakable depth. Point 2. Micro moments of awe, finding beauty in daily ruins. Transformation rarely arrives through dramatic gestures. More often, it lives in the subtle, almost invisible moments that quietly awaken the spirit. A shaft of sunlight falling across a cracked wall, the rhythmic patter of rain against a window, or a tiny plant forcing its way through concrete. These small sparks of life invite presence and reflection, even when your world feels heavy. These micro moments reshape perspective in a delicate yet profound way. Research in positive psychology demonstrates that regularly noticing small wonders strengthens emotional resilience, gratitude, and cognitive flexibility. When life fractures, attention narrows, often locking onto loss, fear, or unmet expectations. Intentionally pausing to recognize beauty, even in the most unlikely places, teaches the mind to see possibility amid chaos. Incorporating these moments does not require elaborate rituals. Take 2 minutes with your morning tea, watch a child laugh, or trace the subtle patterns of leaves or ripples in water. Each small engagement accumulates, forming a counterweight to despair. Slowly, your mind begins to shift, learning to notice potential rather than limitation. Consistency matters far more than grandeur. Repeated encounters with the world's subtle wonders forge neural pathways that support hope, curiosity, and a refined clarity of thought. Brokenness begins to transform not through avoidance, but through attentive noticing, an elegant internal alchemy. These micro moments teach that life, even in fragments, holds textures of beauty waiting to be recognized, offering a quiet but powerful invitation to rebuild your inner landscape. Point 3. Silence as canvas, how stillness shapes resilience. In a world saturated with noise, silence often feels absent or even uncomfortable. Yet when life fractures, stillness becomes a vital canvas for reflection and renewal. Deliberate silence, whether sitting quietly, meditating, or letting thoughts drift without interference, offers a space where experiences can settle, where the raw edges of hardship can begin to smooth into understanding. The mind seeks distraction in pain. Social media scrolling, endless tasks, and busyness offer momentary relief, but rarely allow full processing of emotional fractures. Embracing silence creates the environment for insight to emerge naturally. Clarity arrives not through force, but through patient attention to what is already present within you. Scientific research confirms the power of this practice. Even 10 minutes of daily contemplative stillness reduces stress, enhances emotional regulation, and strengthens cognitive flexibility. By leaning into quiet, you train your perception to detect nuance, subtlety, and depth in both thought and feeling. These intervals allow the creative self to reassert itself, equipping you to respond with intention rather than react impulsively, to craft your life rather than collapse under it. Silence becomes a mirror, reflecting both pain and possibility. It allows fractured parts to be acknowledged, reshaped, and integrated into a resilient whole. With repeated practice, sitting quietly evolves from a passive pause into an active act of self-authorship, laying the groundwork for engagement with life's challenges in a way that is measured, deliberate, and profoundly your own. Point 4. Embracing your unfinished edges. Perfection rarely guides meaningful transformation. The pressure to appear whole, accomplished, or flawless often blocks access to the richness of your experience. Embracing unfinished edges, the parts of yourself that feel incomplete, uncertain, or unresolved, invites authenticity and fosters genuine self-compassion. These edges are not flaws to hide, but signals pointing toward growth and deeper understanding. Shifting attention from external achievement to internal cultivation changes how you relate to yourself. Every unresolved aspect carries lessons, emotional depth, and creative potential. By acknowledging these edges instead of concealing them, you open a dialogue with your inner self, allowing insight and self-awareness to emerge naturally. Practical ways to engage with unfinished edges include reflective journaling, contemplative exercises, or sharing vulnerably with trusted friends. Accepting imperfection does not mean passivity. On the contrary, it is an active process, honoring the current state, exploring what is present, and fostering growth without rushing toward a polished outcome. Life rarely unfolds in neat, predictable patterns. Its fractures are jagged, uneven, and often messy. Yet it is precisely these contours that carry beauty and depth. Learning to welcome incompletion allows you to evolve in real time, transforming raw experiences into wisdom that is tangible, personal, and deeply rooted in your authentic self. These edges, once embraced, become the foundation for resilience, creativity, and a life lived with intention. Point 5. The quiet power of observing without judgment. Observation without judgment is a subtle skill with profound effects. In moments of difficulty, the instinct is often to critique ourselves, others, or the situation itself. This automatic judgment magnifies suffering and clouds clarity, making it harder to respond with intention. Pausing to notice without immediate evaluation creates a reflective space where insight can emerge naturally. Observing without judgment means recognizing emotions, thoughts, and events exactly as they are, acknowledging them fully, and then choosing how to respond. It is a practice grounded in patience, maturity, and deep empathy for oneself and the world. In practice, this might look like noticing your emotional responses to challenges without labeling them good or bad, observing tension in a conversation without internal commentary, or tracing the intricacies of your own thought patterns without interruption. With consistency, this approach strengthens discernment, emotional intelligence, and the ability to convert reactive habits into deliberate, thoughtful choices. The quiet power of observation transforms brokenness into guidance rather than limitation. Each fracture, when witnessed without judgment, carries lessons that can inform growth and deepen understanding. By cultivating this practice, you navigate life's challenges with precision and composure, creating a grounded, sophisticated expression of yourself, one shaped not by reaction, but by deliberate, unwavering presence. Bonus point: integrating subtle daily rituals. Consider weaving subtle daily rituals into your life, practices that quietly reinforce presence, reflection, and self-expression. This could be a 5-minute morning reflection, noting small observations in a journal, or pausing mindfully before each significant task. Though small, these actions accumulate, shaping a resilient, intentional self. They act as anchors, keeping you connected to your inner strength even amid chaos. By committing to these micro practices, brokenness transforms from obstacle to medium, allowing you to express wisdom, beauty, and personal power in every moment. Type "artful" in the comments to mark your commitment to transformation. Like the video to support the channel, subscribe for daily insights, and share it with someone who could benefit. Click the recommended video on screen. and I'll see you tomorrow.